Connecticut's news station starts with a weather impact alert.
And we do have breaking news overnight. Just over 11,000 Eversource customers still do not have power right now at 6 a.m. Windham is one of the harder hit areas where the numbers in just the past few minutes have jumped back up to almost 1,000 customers without power in that town alone. Here are the top 3 towns with the most outages. Almost half the town of Harwinton is out, about 41%. Torrington, a much bigger town, granted, but still over 1,000 customers without power. And then, like we said, Windham at 970. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 61 this Friday. I'm Tim Lammers.
At America Areas, thanks for checking in with us. We are sorry if you're watching on your mobile device and you're out of power. We hope it gets back soon. We know Eversource is doing everything they can to make it back on as quickly as possible. But in the meantime, we're glad you're with us, and happy Friday as we check in with Rachel Piscatelli this Friday morning. Hello.
Hey, good morning. Busy morning
Yes.
and windy morning too. We have this wind advisory that's going to carry us through this afternoon through about 7 o'clock with gust potential towards 40 to 50 miles per hour that will continue throughout much of the day today. So that isolated power outage risk continues throughout our Friday. Our wind speeds right now are up to about 15 to 20 to 25 miles per hour. Those are our sustained wind speeds. Here are our gusts. We're closer to about 40 to 45 miles per hour in some parts of our state. 45 in Windsor Locks right now, gusting towards 41 in Willimantic as well as in Torrington. 45 miles per hour in Bridgeport right now. So kind of playing out the wind for you today. Expect those gusty conditions to last us through at least 4 o'clock in terms of the 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts. Towards this evening, closer to 6, 7 o'clock, those winds begin to back off. It's still going to be breezy for any evening plans, but overnight tonight you can expect some significant improvements. And then for tomorrow, the wind does build back in, unfortunately. Our numbers are much colder than this time yesterday, up to about 20 to 22 degrees colder, where we're sitting in the 30s and 20s. Remember yesterday, we were sitting up around 50 degrees in some spots. So with the wind, you want to plan for the teens and the 20s. You want to dress for that this afternoon, although our highs will be up around 40 degrees under a partly cloudy sky. We do have more wind expected for the first half of our weekend. We'll have more details on that. Plus the big warm up on the way. We'll have all of that coming up in the next 15 minutes. But we have lots of road closures to get through this morning. So unfortunately, I probably won't be able to get to all of them. So we're going to take a look here over in the Harwinton area. Route 118 Litchfield Road, that is blocked between 222 Hill Road and Wheaston Road. We also have several road closures in the Tolland area. Buff Cap Road is blocked. Cosley Road is also blocked. And then Metcalf Road also blocked this morning due to trees and wires down. Several road closures from Willimantic into Hampton as well as Hebron. Tim and Erica.
Gusty winds once again taking down tree limbs and power lines. Right now, there are more than 11,000 customers without power. That's statewide.
Yeah, almost 1,000 of them are in Windham, where we've got Fox 61's Kaylee Collins live. Kaylee, good morning.
Good morning, Tim and Erica. I'm here on Tucky Road in Windham, where we told you a little bit last hour that there was reports of downed wires. Well, now we've found the tree that is on top of those wires. Take a look at this. You can see that they're kind of just hanging there on the roadway. They haven't completely snapped here, but pretty sizable tree that's come down on the roadway here again on Tucky Road. This is right off of Route 14 in Windham. And this area has seen, as Tim mentioned, a decent amount of outages here this morning, almost up to 1,000, and across the state that number is higher, closer to 11,000. But this area has been hit pretty hard by the gusty winds that are coming our way throughout the state this morning. And we are about 2.5 miles or so from Eastern Connecticut State University. We know that yesterday, in the aftermath of Wednesday night's storm, there were several delays and closings at schools, including a delayed start at the Yukon Stores campus. So we're going to keep our eye on the schedule there at the Eastern Connecticut State University to see if these outages here will impact the normal start of classes. No official word on that yet, but of course we will look into that and keep you updated. We just saw a utility truck that was coming down the roadway here. It looks like they've turned around, so they perhaps maybe are trying to get a different vantage point to enter into this area to work on here. But we're reaching out to Eversource and Connecticut Department of Transportation officials to learn a little bit more about the number of outages, where they are, and those restoration efforts. So we definitely will keep you updated. For now, we're live in Windham. Kaylee Collins, Fox 61.
And Kaylee, thank you. We certainly appreciate it. Another top story this morning. One man is dead after 3 Hartford police officers shot at him yesterday afternoon.
Investigators say the man pulled out a gun, and that's when officers started firing. They shot him. Now, this all happened on Homestead Avenue in the north end of Hartford. Fox 61's Angelo Barrow has the latest on the investigation.
Hartford police cannot share many details with us as the state's inspector general's office is now leading this investigation, which is what happens with these officer-involved shootings.
A residential area at the corner of Homestead Avenue and Irving Street in Hartford quickly turned into a busy police scene Thursday afternoon.
We heard multiple gunshots.
Hartford police say officers were on scene for a firearms investigation around 2:30 in the afternoon.
The officers located the subject of that investigation, made contact with him. Upon making contact, the suspect immediately produced a firearm.
That's when police say 3 officers opened fire, hitting the man who died at the hospital.
We did locate a firearm on scene. That firearm belonged to the suspect, had an extended magazine in it, capable of holding many rounds.
It's dangerous out here, man. Dangerous.
I'm hurt.
Adrienne LeRae knows the impact of guns on the streets. Her daughter was killed in a shooting 8 years ago.
So I'm currently raising her daughter and her son.
And she, like others here, wants the violence to stop.
Please talk to your children. Ask them to come to church. This is what God has put us out here for. Go to church instead of running around in these streets with these guns.
The IG's office should be putting out its initial findings about what exactly happened here within 96 hours per state policy. Reporting in Hartford, I'm Angelo Barrow, Fox 61.
Angela, thank you. In Meriden, police are still investigating after they said one person was hit by 2 cars. They found one of the drivers. They said right now they're looking for the other. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson went to Meriden and talked with neighbors near where it happened.
It was here at the corner of Park and Cedar Street where a person was hit by 2 different cars. Police say one of the drivers stopped and is cooperating, but that second driver they're still looking for. As they say, they fled the scene. It came as a shock to some neighbors, but others say they're not surprised. We asked a handful of neighbors about if they know what happened, but most of them said they only heard sirens and flashing lights from emergency crews. Neighbors were shocked when they found out someone was hit right across from where they live. Meriden Velasquez says she's been telling her family to be careful crossing the street for years.
It's heartbreaking. I have 4 kids, and knowing that this happened to a grown person, imagine kids. I will tell my husband and my kids, be careful, because God forbid someone gets hit and finally something sadly happened today. I know they closed the street on the other side, so everybody's just in this street as the main street going back and forth, but they're not conscious and they're always speeding.
According to Sergeant Boothroyd, the person who was hit is being treated at a nearby hospital. When I spoke with Meriden Velasquez, she says she thinks the only solution is to put speed bumps on this street to stop speeding. In Meriden, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Jamel, thanks. State police say drivers called 911 to report a wrong-way driver on Route 5 and 15 on Wednesday night. We have some dash cam video to show you here. This is of a trooper stopping the wrong-way driver on 5 and 15 in Hartford. State police say the driver was going south in the northbound lane at about 8:30 last night. Now, callers told state police that the SUV was first seen going the wrong way in East Hartford. It's not clear where the driver got onto the road, but based on reports, he crossed over the Charter Oak Bridge. Now, troopers were able to stop the vehicle just after the Airport Road exit in Hartford. Troopers say Joshua Hala from Wethersfield was behind the wheel of the vehicle. Police say that he admitted to smoking pot before getting behind the wheel and was, quote, intentionally driving the wrong direction. Hala faces several charges, including reckless driving and operating a motor vehicle under the influence. Happening today, Governor Lamont is expected to sign a bill that helps towns pay for special education. The measure sets aside an extra $40 million. It creates emergency grants for cities and towns to help defray the cost of special education services. Earlier this week, the governor vetoed a previous plan by state lawmakers to give funding for special education.
5 Bridgeport Democratic officials were in court yesterday. All of them have been accused of abusing the absentee ballot system during the 2023 city mayoral election. Wanda Gieter-Pataki, Margaret Joyce, and city council members Alfredo Castilla, Maria Pereira, and Jazz Marie Melendez collectively are all facing 156 charges. All 5 defendants made a brief appearance yesterday. They were told about the terms of their release and were told they are not allowed to talk to potential witnesses. None of them entered a plea. We have breaking news overnight in New Britain, a fire at an apartment building on Broad Street. We're still working to find out if anybody was hurt and how many people, if any, were inside. The city did say firefighters have already left the scene, but that the fire marshal's office is still there.
And breaking overnight in Europe, Eurostar trains between London and Paris, France have been stopped due to an unexploded bomb. Now, that bomb dates back to World War II. It was found near the tracks in northern France. Trains have been stopped in Paris at Gare du Nord station. They are expected to resume later today, but with limited service. For now, passengers in London heading to Paris and those in Paris heading to London, oh, they're just left waiting. It is common for unexploded bombs from World War II to be found near the tracks there. Today marks 3 weeks since Pope Francis has been hospitalized in Rome. Last night, the Vatican released an audio message from the Pope thanking the people for their prayers. And it was broadcast in St. Peter's Square last night at the beginning of the Rosary Prayer. Pope Francis is still being treated at Gemelli Hospital for pneumonia.